What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So, a Twitter boxing page called BoxingScene.com posed this question after Adrien Broner's unanimous decision loss against Blair the Flair Cobbs. The question was posed: is Adrien Broner the worst 4-division champion of all time? Now, for those who don't know, Adrien Broner is a 4-division champion in boxing. He was a WBO super featherweight champion. He was a WBC lightweight champion. He was a WBA welterweight champion and WBA light welterweight champion as well, right? Actually, I don't know if y'all know this, Adrien Broner is one of the only fighters to win titles at 130, 135, 140, and 147. The other three guys that did that are Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Manny Pacquiao. So I'm going to say this. First of all, no, Adrien Broner is not the worst 4-division world champion of all time. I would have to say that accolade goes to Leo Gomez. And that's because Leo Gomez did not beat guys that are better than the guys that Adrien Broner beat. He didn't lose to guys. The guys he lost to were not better than the guys that Adrien Broner lost to at all, right? I just think Adrien Broner has a better resume than him. To me, without question, he does. And so you can't put Adrien Broner as the worst 4-division champion when Leo Gomez got, he has 10 losses. But again, the guys that he lost to and the guys that he beat are not close to the guys that Adrien Broner lost to or beat. You know what I mean? Adrien just has a better resume than him. If you want to put Adrien Broner behind Leo Gomez, okay, cool. But I want to remind y'all, even with me saying that Leo Gomez is the worst 4-division champion of all time, a 4-division champion is still a 4-division champion. Like, you still gotta respect that. I want to remind people, man, when Adrien Broner was coming up, he had the boxing world on fire. I know everybody clowns Adrien Broner today, and Adrien has become really a caricature of himself. He was always a guy that would clown around and be entertained and act a fool, but when you see Adrien Broner drunk a lot and clowning on social media, it's easy for people to pick at him and clown him and all of that, right? But I remember when Adrien Broner was coming up in the boxing world, by the time that fight with Marcos Maidana was happening, Adrien was one of the biggest names in boxing, one of the most recognizable names in the sport at the time that he was coming up to that Marcos Maidana fight. Now, it's what happened in that fight that changed the direction of Adrien Broner's career and his psyche in the ring as well. I'm gonna say this, man. Adrien Broner, his best win to me by far is Antonio DeMarco. That win was so great because AB was coming up from 130 to 135, and he was challenging the number one ranked 135-pounder at the time, which was Antonio DeMarco, right? Antonio DeMarco was on a 5-fight win streak, which included a win against prime Jorge Linares, and he was coming off a first-round TKO win against John Molina Jr., who Adrien Broner would later beat in, I think, 2015, right? So at that time, AB was moving up in weight, fighting a top guy. He get up in there with a top guy and absolutely, I'm talking about dismantles him. Like, that was a beautiful, beautiful performance if I ain't never seen such. When I watched that performance again, he stopped him, and I'm looking at AB's hand speed, his power, his punch placement, the amount of punches he was throwing in the fight, how sharp he was, how great he was able to counter. AB, like, when he was on, that motherfucker was on. And his best fighting, like to me, his best fighting, like, chances for him to win, he got to fight in close quarters or mid-range. When he was fighting on the inside, oh, man, listen, that's where he did his best work. The problems became when they tried to have him fighting at a distance. Fighting at a distance like you Floyd Mayweather at times, like, no, that wasn't a style for him. He wasn't great at it. He was not. And when he started fighting like that, you started to see closer fights. Like, even, I'm going to say this too. Man. Adrien Broner was never, even though I really, really liked watching AB, I can tell he was never an A-tier talent. He was really a B-tier talent. He just had a lot of damn talent within him, and he was able to overcome a lot of things with his power and work rate and the fact that he had a great chin. Never had great defense like that. He did not have great footwork. But again, he had pop. He had hand speed. And he had a great ass chin. You couldn't knock him out. But I saw certain holes in him when he fought Daniel Ponce de Leon. When he fought Paulie Malignaggi. Like, some people feel like he lost against Paulie, and trying to fight Paulie from distance at times, it just didn't look good. Then he lost to Sean Porter, lost to Marcos Maidana. After the Marcos Maidana fight, he became a lot more gun shy. He was afraid to throw a lot because I feel like he was scared of getting countered and hurt. After he got hurt against Marcos Maidana a lot of times in that fight, he got hurt bad, but he kept getting up and kept fighting. Marcos Maidana did not knock him out. He kept getting up, kept fighting, even though AB jumped, because I believe that's when AB jumped from 135 to 47. Because he fought Paulie first at 47, and then he went to go fight Marcos Maidana. But Marcos Maidana had a different type of shit on him, and AB really, he couldn't handle that, But yeah, man, I believe Adrien had pure talent, and he fought off pure talent a lot. So he was never an elite talent, even though when guys were trying to compare him to Floyd Mayweather, I knew he wasn't Floyd. I knew he wasn't Floyd. Being a Floyd Mayweather fan, I could see holes in his game. You could see it. Like, you're like, oh man, he struggles defensively. He's not able to catch shots that well. Footwork is not really that good. You can see certain things like, damn, you can counter AB a lot, and so, but he made the best out of his abilities, and he was able to be a 4-weight champion. So, I respect that. You gotta respect it, man. In boxing, how many 4-weight champions has it been? It's been 26 4-weight champions, and AB's one of those names, man. And that's a hell of an accomplishment, regardless of the losses that he's taken. And when I'm looking at the losses, he lost to Marcos Maidana, tough ass dude. Marcos Maidana wasn't no fucking joke. Sean Porter, Showtime Sean Porter was 2-time welterweight champion. Sean gave everybody tough fights, from Errol Spence until 10, like up until that knockout. Sean Porter was up on a lot of people's scorecards. A lot of people had Sean Porter winning that fight until the knockout came, until the stoppage came, when he dropped, when Terrence dropped him twice. Sean gave great work to a lot of people. Was in a tough, grueling fight where Yordenis Ugas. Some feel Sean lost that, but I mean, they gave him the victory. Sean, Danny Garcia. He fought Danny, beat Danny. Fought Keith Thurman. Like, Sean was tough as hell. He lost to Mikey Garcia. Mikey was beating everybody at that time. Until Mikey ran into Errol Spence, Mikey was a fucking problem. Adrien lost to Manny Pacquiao. I mean, goddamn, losing to Manny. Shit, man, that's Manny Pacquiao. Now, this loss against Blair Cobbs, that ain't good, but again, AB is just out here collecting checks at this point. I don't think AB really... He trying, but he's not going to gain back that magic that he once had back in 2012, 2013, around that time. You know what I mean? But, like, a 4-division champion is a 4-division champion regardless, man. And, again, I heard Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri agreed. He said, yes, Adrien Broner is probably the worst 4-division champion of all time. But, again, Leo Gomez is, to me. If you look at Leo Gomez's resume, come on, man. His shit don't compare to AB, and he's a 4-division champion for sure. But when Chris Algieri says this, I mean, I think that the question came from the Twitter page, I believe, right? And when Chris Algieri says yes, he probably is, I don't think he means any harm. But Chris, it is shade. It sounds like, damn, you throwing shade on the boy. You trying to clown him a little bit, like y'all making this a topic on your show. Pro Box TV, it is a little like, damn, y'all trying to shade him, y'all trying to, give him a backhanded compliment, but ironically, Adrien Broner has a better resume than Chris Algieri. And he will probably, like I said, sneak into the Hall of Fame before Chris does. So, yeah, I might have repeated that. I don't even know if I repeated that point or not, but yeah, man, Adrien at his height was entertainment at his finest. Had a lot of talent, a lot of heart, a lot of resiliency, great chin, very good power, very good hand speed, had good punch placement. At his peak, he was sharp, but he got gun shy after the Marcos Maidana fight. He was never good at fighting from a distance. Never really had great defense. Didn't have great footwork. Was not an elite fighter. A B-level fighter at his peak. But he found a way to get the job done. A lot of times he was entertaining. And on the inside, he was a fighting motherfucker on the inside. Machiavelli Mills TV.